Looks like we good. Let me make sure it goes live. Perfect. All right. Looks like we good. Shout out to my guy, the Tech, aka Chill Sample Hub, in the building for today's producer interview. Our G is gonna be in the producer tournament coming up. First ever live traded producer tournament in human history on WaveWarz. So we gotta get these interviews because these legendary already. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta, get into the stories of these artists, bro, that's making history with us. So we here, man, with the Tech, who's already won one WaveWarz battle. You know what I mean? And here he is to do it again, and hopefully again, and then again, and that will make him win the finals. But what's good, bro? How you feeling, man? What you cooking? Lately, like what is your latest things, bro? Feel free to introduce yourself the best way you know how. And yeah, bro, let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure. So I am the tech, also known as Chill Sample Hub. That's my little persona. For anyone that's grew up in the '90s, artists for hip hop and R&B usually have a name other than their real name that they use. So I figured I should have a persona too. When I first started out doing music, I emulated more of MF Doom because he is my favorite artist. And for me, beats are what I resonate with music. Even
Right.
growing up as a kid in New York, listening to Hot 97, it would take me a while to learn lyrics to a song, but I would always learn like the chorus, a hook or ad libs, and the beat. So that's where a lot of my production comes from. It comes from getting a beat that someone can dance to, bob their head to, and then catchy lyrics with your ad libs and your chorus to really get them into that. Because for me, music comes from a happy place. I actually cannot write sad songs or depressing songs because music for me is always been when I'm happy. I remember when I was a kid, my grandma taking me to football practice, listening to music. I remember when I was in the military and we were drinking and partying and listening to music or going to like bars and clubs in Japan and Korea. So it's those type of memories that I remember when I listen to music and I try to bring smiles to people's faces.
That's beautiful, man. Love to hear it, man. So it seems like your music journey started, relatively young, but from what I heard from you from the last battle, you just got started into making AI music like not too long ago. Were you making music before then, or like it's like a resurgence?
Honestly, it's really hasn't. Like, I did a little playing around when I was a kid. Like, I had some friends in the neighborhood that had like the hip hop version of EJ. So we used to mess around with that a little bit. And then before FL Studios, back when it was Fruity Loops, I had like the one of the very, very old versions of that. And then I did like tenor back in choir at church because I was like old school Christian family, so you were gonna sing in choir. There was
Right.
no choice about that.
Yo, that's what's up, man. So, would you say you a good singer, bro? Can you sing a little bit right now? What's the word?
I am not a good singer. I was voluntold to do the job. I just understood from being in choir for a Church in God in Christ church. It's a little different from say other denominations of Christianity. So you find that a lot of the music is more upbeat to get people dancing, and a lot of the instruments used, even though it's gospel, are very similar to funk.
Ah, I see. I see. So, let me ask you this: do you take influence from that gospel music in the music into the music you made now?
Absolutely. Like when I do gospel tracks, I try to replicate some of the elements from songs of some of my favorite artists. So like Kurt Franklin, Mary Mary, Fred Hammond, Hezekiah Walker, a group called Commissions, where if you find a live version of their CD, it's all funk for every song on that track, which is actually my favorite track from them. So it's heavily influenced like that for the gospel. a lot of my songs that I do are usually inspired by beats and stuff I like from other artists. So I'll always take some of the elements of those to create a completely new sound.
Yo, that's tough, bro. That's tough. So let me ask you about AI beats, songs. It seems like you're doing them both, and now you're kind of getting into a lane where you're even meshing like human beings with the AI beats. When did this whole, new AI music thing start? You know what I mean? Like, were you just always wanting to make music? You just never had the want to do it on FL Studio or whatever, and finally this thing came out and made it more feasible, or what was that? What was the psychology behind all that?
So this is going to be a wild story. I
Okay.
actually started 6 months ago. I was going to classes to learn how to use AI because I've already used it a little bit because I'm bigger on the crypto side. So I was using AI to study like market data on crypto and market data as far as the stock market. But I wanted to learn how to prompt better for pictures. And within that class that my friend taught, Rick, he actually used to teach it every Monday, and it was like 4 hour classes. So he, after a while, started teaching us how to do music. So I was practicing and learning from that class. Then my friend Silky from Dom's, he
Oh, I
actually
know.
used to
So
work with people like in studios and stuff. So he started teaching me a few things. And then somebody else, Crypto Radio Fam, came up and was like, "Hey,
uh,
I challenge everyone in the GPC that we all make music together and try to get monetized in a month." And I had a failing YouTube channel for 10 years. So when he said monetize in a month, I side-eyed him, but I was like, fuck it, I'll do it anyway, just to, be chilling and making music with a friend. So I didn't expect anything. I was like, I'm just gonna make music I like. And to my surprise, people liked it. So I
mm,
started working harder on trying to get better at it, and I wanted to work myself out of my comfort zone because I'm like super introverted. So the best way to do that was with WaveWarz, and that's why I did the battle against Pokemon, because I was so uncomfortable and scared shitless of being ass that I was like, this is the step I have to take to improve.
damn. Whoa. That's actually really fire that you say that, man. And honestly, like, boosts our motivation as well over here to, like, keep doing what it do. Cause like this is the second day in a row, that somebody's highlighted the fact that, like, just the idea of musical competition puts that fire under musicians' ass again. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like,
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's been missing for a while in the music industry. But aside from that, bro, like, yo, fantastic story. And I definitely see you going hard, bro. I see you, like, you're constantly making songs with people. It seems like every other day you got a new new beat going on. What is the process like? What is the process like of making a beat or a song? Like, how long does it take you? How do you get the ideas? Where's the inspiration coming from? What's going on, man?
So the time varies depending on what I'm trying to do for the person. So if I'm just making a beat, it'll be a little bit faster, maybe at least an hour and a half and 2 hours if I'm just doing a beat. But
Right.
if I'm doing a whole song, that can take significantly longer, especially because like songwriting is like my weaker side.
Mm,
So what I normally do is I listen to songs that I'm inspired by, or if I'm making a beat for someone, they'll have me listen to different songs from different artists and stuff so I can get an understanding of their style.
ah,
Then I'll go into Grok and I'll have Grok pretend to be that artist, because if you try to give them what to do with beat structure and song structure, a lot of times it fucks it up. But if you
mm,
have them pretend to be the artist where it's thinking like them, it works a lot better with everything. So then I can be like, okay, I want to do a hip hop song and I want to make it similar to Rubber Band Man by T.I. with the beat. But what I want to do in my particular version to give it a little twist is I want to change the ad libs to something similar. And I also want the beat, even though it's more of a Rubber Band Man kind of beat, maybe to have some weird nerdcore video game type song sounds like little Flip did for Game Over. And I'll play around with little stuff like that and I'll listen to it and then I'll go by sound like, okay, this doesn't sound good. Let's try generating a few more. Okay, this still isn't the sound I like. Maybe I should take out the gaming elements, or maybe adding a few R&B elements will give it the right sound. Maybe I should go a little jazz and add a little piano or saxophone, and I'll play around with different elements and instruments and keep listening to it until it goes together like a puzzle. And that actually makes it more timely too, because I'm playing everything by ear and experimenting with things until I get a sound I like. Then I
Ah,
get with the homies and Inspire Music, Pokemon, Legit, and AJ, and they'll listen to my stuff and give me brutally honest opinions, and I'll go from there too.
dang, that's beautiful, bro. You're actually hitting on, multiple points of, what people say you need to blow up. Not only are you doing the consistent work and consistent like tweaking, et cetera, but you also have what's called a mastermind. And that's what I really, admire about you and Green Pill Collective, et cetera, et cetera. Can you talk a little bit more about that? How you guys came together? Like, what is you guys' mission? You know what I mean? Like, what's up with that?
Yeah, for sure. That's actually a really interesting story. So we all have a mutual friend, Benny at the bank. I actually know him offline through family.
Interesting.
And I was actually working on helping family members with investments from the stock market. And they found value in my help. And my cousin told me about him, and she was saying, he does a lot on Twitter and he's already monetized there. So he
Mhm.
met me. We had a 2 hour conversation, and he said, you understand a lot about crypto, even though you're not in crypto Twitter. He's like, how did you learn? And I told him about all the different finance books I've read. I told him about YouTube channels I listen to, like Earn Your Leisure. And he was like, honestly, he said, this is something that the community needs, because a lot of people gamble on meme coins and stuff. And he said, just from our conversation, I can tell you hate that shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, Twitter. And I kind of side eyed him because I've had this account for 5 years, but it was under the gaming side of the house.
Mm,
And the gaming side of the house isn't active a whole lot unless like certain games and stuff are coming out. Like the political side and the finance side of Twitter are super active compared to a lot of other communities that are kind of off and on. So I was pleasantly surprised. And I went to a few spaces, and one of the spaces that Benny threw is where I actually met Crypto Stoner for the first time. So we were talking about the markets and stuff, and Crypto Stoner led us through meditation at the end to
mm,
kind of just focus our mind and channel our spirits. And then I went to Crypto Stoner Spaces, which was coffee and a joint. And that's how I met him and Big Man. And we all kind of got together from there, started doing like going to coffee and the joint together. That's actually where I first met D Bros too. And I was listening to a lot of the people that used to come to Coffee in a Joint. And honestly, from what I heard with their projects, I weren't too 100% on them. But listening to Justin from D Bros, I could tell he was the real deal. So I took time to research D Bros, and I would go to all the spaces he was talking in for a good 3 months to really get to know the project. And I really fucked with the D Bros project. So I started sharing the D Bros project in a lot of spaces, and he's compensated me a little bit for like getting people in there and some interviews that he was able to do, like Clay After Dark, which is Cardano space, actually was really intrigued with D Bros, even though they're ETH, and they got them on the show. And that
right.
actually happened because Benny works with them, and me and Benny were having a conversation, and he was like, who do you think we should have on the show? So when I started telling him about D Bros and started sending him links, and he was starting doing research, he was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to Justin. And from there, that's how we all got together and got to know each other. And after a while, we decided we wanted to do the Green Pill Collective, which is a bunch of projects in Web3 where we can all work together, have fun, but more importantly, we wanted the community to feel safe, not like they're being rug pulled. We make sure we talk about education within the crypto space so people understand how to identify good projects, how to be safe, how to avoid scams and like predatory links and stuff like that. And that's really been the mission of the GPC.
Let's go, bro. Yo, I absolutely think that's tough, man. And a lot of the people you mentioned, I've definitely met. Shout out Crypto Stoner, Big Man, and just a bunch of the people that you mentioned. And I like that circle a lot. Definitely doing a lot of big things for crypto and everyone onboarding, especially. But I want to ask you, like, where does the music come into, the whole Green Pill Collective mission? You know what I mean?
So with the Greenfield Collective, they're the crypto side of the house. The music is
Okay.
actually separate, and what we do with
Inspire.
Inspire Music.
Yeah.
hmm
Okay.
We're the music side of the team.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So Inkspire is an offshoot of Green Pill Collective.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because we're all members of the Greenfield Collective, but we're the members that do music.
Understood, bro. And now I got it all, put
Yeah, everyone in the GPC has different skills. Like we have really good graphic designers, people that are good at TA and teaching how to leverage trade. There's so many of us in different projects with different skill sets. We come together as a melting pot and help each other where it's needed.
yo, that's fire, bro. I definitely think that's the way to move, like moving forward. It's like you really got to move with a crew, bro. You really got to move with your fam. So yeah, it's dope. I'm glad we linked up with a lot of your guys. Legit AJ. Know them as well. So yeah, I think I'm trying to remember when we first met, but it might
I
have been
actually
at Big
remember
Man's. Oh, go ahead, bro. Let us know, man.
when Big Man started
And you
doing
was Big
spaces
Man's
where
face,
he
yeah.
interviewed people for music, you were the
Right.
first person he interviewed.
Oh, damn. That's yo, that's
That's
tough.
how we met.
That's tough, bro. I knew it was a Big Man's face. Shout out
hmm
Big Man,
And
bro.
then the second time we met was when you were doing the student loan spaces because
Yeah,
you wanted people to talk about what they were doing in the crypto market. And I told you that I was doing financial education. And
yeah,
that's when I told you I first did like AI music and you got to hear the song out in the foreign, this song I did.
yeah, bro. Nah, it's all connected now, and it's crazy, how these relationships and spaces just end up turning into like really fruitful things, bro. Like I really feel like you know through my time of knowing you, and it's probably not even been that long. Like I'm like, yo, tech is going crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah. I think we've known each other for about 4 months now.
facts, bro. But I don't know why it feels like longer. I
It's because we
definitely
always working.
nah facts, bro. You know what I'm saying? We cooking, bro. But yeah, man, it's been dope to see. I definitely see that you have like a really bright future. Happy to be aligned with you, man. Very glad that you decided to come back for another one. So let's talk about your first Wave Wars battle. You know what I mean when you went against Pokemon. Not an
Yeah, for
easy
sure.
opponent, bro. Not an easy opponent, but you did come out on top. Did you feel like you was going to win in the whole time, or was there any moments where you were kind of like, oh man, Pokemon kind of cooking right
So I was really nervous, but me and Pokemon knew each other before the battle
now? Right.
because we've run into each other in some of the same spaces and we followed each other on YouTube. So I got to hear Chasing Pikachu and
Mhm.
he got to hear some of like my earlier songs. So we knew what we were getting into and facing each other. And because I was so scared and new at doing this, I wasn't really getting sleep. So I was doing
Wow,
all my crypto stuff and spending 5 hours a day working on music to prepare for the competition. Because at the
that's
time, I also did Man versus Machine right
yeah. I
after,
remember
and they
that.
were like back to back. So I had
Yeah.
to make songs for both. And for Pokemon, he has so much more experience in the music world than I do that in my mind, I was like, okay, everything I've heard from him is like fire R&B and killer melodics, but I haven't seen him go outside of that. So I
Mhm.
felt as a rookie my best strategy would be to use versatility. And that's why I had music of all different types of genres, because I figured fans are voting and not just judges. And fans are usually more casual listeners. So something that's catchy that they can bob their head to and that feels fresh, I thought was my best chance of beating him. Like I was counting on all his songs to sound too similar, that the freshness of new genres would be my edge of winning.
Whew. Man, that's a cook, bro, and that's a really interesting perspective, a way of seeing it, because that's exactly what happened. You brought the versatility, and that I think is what kind of pushed you over the top. You know what I mean? And like just hearing, your dedication, you probably gained a lot of experience within that little short amount of time because of how much you were cooking. But it makes me wonder. I don't know if you've heard Rome's beats. That's who you're going to be facing in the
Yeah, I
quarterfinals.
have.
Oh, okay, okay.
We actually met each other um after Man versus Machine,
Uh huh.
because I met him around the time after that, like him, Cloudy, and all of them. So every now and then we would like catch up, and I've heard some of his stuff, some of his older stuff, like his Batman remix and stuff like that. But when he did the match against Visions, I got to
Yeah.
see what he been hiding, because like
You
he really
know.
don't be showing his music like that. Like Rome be inviting you to spaces, have you play your music. He'd be like, "Yo, Rome, hit me with some beats." He's like, "Nah, I'm just chilling, bro."
Sheesh.
Then he just popped out with this competition. It's like, damn, he had this in the chamber the whole time.
Nah,
Like, yeah, Rome is nice.
I feel you, bro. Like he definitely took me by surprise as well, bro. Because when we was first doing our research, for WaveWarz to be like if he can even be on, I couldn't find no music. Just like you said, I was like, "Yo, Rome, bro. Like, how you supposed? What you mean you gonna be? You don't even got any songs?" And he's like, "I got songs." I was like, "Where, bro?" You know what I'm saying? But
See,
like,
that's that strategy. They keep you from scouting them.
it is, bro. It is. But now that you know how he coming, because he definitely does something unique with his AI beats. It seems like he goes in and uses software as well. You know what I'm saying? Like FL
Yeah.
after. So like, are you thinking about incorporating any of those type of strategies? You don't have to reveal if you don't want to, but like, like,
Well, let's just say we at Inkspire as a team do that because we do have a
uh,
mixer. So when we put out our songs, I usually make like the beats and the ad libs. Pokemon usually mixes it and cuts it up the way we need it and makes space for singers or rappers to actually do the song. So
uh,
we work as a team in that sense.
Yo, that's fire, bro. I really like how y'all moving at Inspired, bro. Y'all definitely seem to be, on one accord. Y'all moving as a unit, bro. Like even when I see y'all come through, y'all got the green PFPs. Like I like it, bro. I like what y'all doing, bro. But yeah, man, I'm definitely interested to see that matchup, see how things go. Are there any other matchups that you're interested in as far as this producer tournament?
There's a lot of good ones. Crypto Beat versus One is going to be an interesting
Yeah.
one because they've both been in the game for a while and they have a lot of versatility as far as like the genres of the beats they do. So that's going to be interesting.
Yo, totally agreed, bro. But if there was anyone besides yourself that you think is gonna win the whole tournament, who would you say it would be?
I would probably have to give it to Porky.
Sheesh, that's what people have been saying, bro. Forky got a lot of pressure on him, man. because it's like,
He's
yeah,
undefeated in beat battles right now.
bro, facts, bro. But yeah, man,
You
this is
don't get there for no reason.
nah facts, bro. That's facts. Forky do be cooking, bro. But I think there's a lot of other talent out here that might give him a run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but he might have some surprises for us too. I don't know if you
true.
know, but lately he's been playing around with vocals and stuff in AI. So
I
he
do
puts his
know.
beats that he makes in Susuno and then do the vocals. So who's to say by the time we do this competition, if he ain't got some vocalists just cooking up some fire ad libs with a
uh,
little mini chorus to his beats, like surprise niggas.
yeah. Like surprise niggas. That was funny as fuck. But yeah, dog. I feel you, man. Like, yo, he's definitely coming with it, man. He's definitely coming with it. I'm excited to see you gonna face him in the semifinals if he beats Goose and you beat Rome. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be an interesting battle because
yeah,
me and Rome are both AI artists,
exactly.
and from what I've heard from him, our styles are very different. From the music I've heard from him, like he does a lot of cinematic style music,
Mm.
a lot of your gritty boom bap hip hop, and a lot of the soul and jazz. Where I'll do a hip I'll do a little hip hop, a little cinematic, a little jazz, but I'll also go into gospel. I'll also go into nerdcore. I'll also go into rock. I'll come out with some Portuguese beats and tracks and some
There
Hispanic type beats.
you go. Are you Hispanic or
I'm
Portuguese?
not
Okay.
I grew up on Long Island though, so the little
Oh,
town I lived in is mainly like black, Dominican, Puerto Rican, and Salvadorian in my neighborhood. So I grew up with those type of friends and stuff in school. The bodega that was like next to my church, like you would always hear like that type of music in there.
oh, makes sense. Makes sense. Yo, that's dope, bro. I like how you mixing in, the cultures of your life and influence, etc., like to make your stuff really unique. But let me ask you this as well. Like, what is your like goal? Where do you see yourself ending up, on this music journey? Like, or are you just going with the flow? Like, what's the vision, bro?
So my goal is to continue to improve in my craft, but it's also to bring smiles to people's faces. I notice a lot of times in Web3, because of the nature of markets, people tend to be like upset and tend to become very negative. But I've also noticed that good music tends to take that off of people's mind. So if I can be that relief for somebody, I would like to do so. And I think that that is a way that not just me, but all of us that make music in Web3 can provide value to the community.
Nah, bro, that's absolute sauce, and I agree with you, man. How do you see the Web3 music community like coming up? Because like that's been like one of the common narratives that like when it comes to Web3, the music side is kind of been ignored by the wider Web3 world. What's your opinion on that? How do you think we break into all of that? What do you think?
So the interesting thing is that is true because of how it was 4 years ago, but we can definitely see the change in front of us. Like, for example, I heard 4 years ago people used to have to pay to be on stages to play their music. I haven't been in any spaces that do that, so that's a positive change. We
Facts.
know a lot of people that play all of our music and support us. And I also see some bigger KOLs, not going to say any names, but some of them are starting to follow us. So they see the traction and changes within the music community, and they're keeping their eyes on what's popping off.
No, I totally agree, bro. Like, and I think I'm glad we've been given like 4 years because if you ask me, because I've been involved in the whole Web3 music space for like pretty much all the time it's existed since 2021. And one of the major things I've noticed is that the quality of music that artists are outputting now in comparison to back then is much higher. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I've heard that from everybody too.
yeah, bro. Like it's like people are now making records that could go. Like any one of these can go. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of
So
which, shout out to a day. You
who?
heard his song. A Day has that song with Snoop Dogg, No Half Stepping, and they got a music NFT for it. That song is cold.
Yo, maybe I'm sleeping, bro. Thanks for putting
Yeah,
me on,
bro.
bro.
A
DM
Day
me
and
that
Snoop,
shit.
No Half Stepping. That song is fire.
Yo, DM me that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
Yeah, for sure.
see what's up, bro. And where did they mint it?
You can actually get it through Digi Joints.
Oh, Digi
Yeah,
Jones.
so you get it for like $5, and then you can stake it and earn coins on it, which is their
Yo.
token. And here's the cool thing with coins, just to give everybody the alpha. With coins, it is a meme token, but it has utility with physical businesses. So, for example, Homegrown Creation makes edibles, and you get a discount if you choose to pay her with coins.
Oh wow.
Also, some of the artists in the space, like Rocky and Thanos, they actually have it where if you choose to use coins instead of Solana to pay them, this discounted on their music NFTs too. And then
Yo,
there's a couple of other people like Seth Rawson, who has his own marijuana business, and he takes coins. And then like Death Ape and stuff, I partnered with them, and they do a couple of things and Metaverse. So there's all these people both in the crypto community and who have physical businesses that you can use it for. Not to mention they have a super wheel where for the equivalent of $3 of coins, you can spend for rare stuff. When it first started, they had two mutants in there, and the mutants are worth like one soul, but those
right.
are already gone. Then people like Quack Life donated NFTs, Solana Dead donated an NFT. Like it's a lot of good stuff in there.
Bro, that's fire. I love how DigiJoints is building, bro. They're like definitely one of my big inspirations when it comes to the Web3 space. And like yeah, the idea of like using like creating our own currency and keeping the push and like people using it, and like I think that's beautiful, bro, because it's like essentially that's what the US dollar is. It's like it's essentially a meme coin that just everyone has their attention on and puts value behind, thus it's worth something. So like
Yeah,
we can
exactly. After we went off the gold standard, there's nothing really backing it anymore.
facts, babe. So like, but like, who's to say we can't do the same thing? You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
that's
we
not
can. It's a
exact.
completely decentralized economy. And I think one of the things I've really been learning over the time of being here, which is really fascinating, and I'm gonna admit it makes it hard to make goals because every time I make goals and I start working on something,
It's a
I
new
have to
thing.
reevaluate them and change them. And
Yeah.
it's not for bad reasons. It's just that I start learning so much that I'm like, okay, here's some things that wasn't even on my mind that I need to do. Or okay, maybe it was on my mind and I was being a pussy and it's time to step up and do it. So stuff like that. Like I got into a new hobby recently. I started card collecting again. Like I used to do it as a kid with Pokemon and stuff, but I do it with V friends now, and I've been flipping cards, and it's actually really lucrative. You got to spend a lot of time doing research. You got to validate stuff to make sure you're not getting scammed because there's scammers in that market too.
As
But
always.
you can make some good money. Crazy thing is, I went to Whatnot where they do auctions.
Mhm.
$100 to get into a super wheel with 55 different spots. So the grand prize had a 6% chance of winning, and I won. I
What?
just sold that on eBay 2 days ago for triple the money I spent on that wheel.
Damn. Yo, that's tough, bro. That's tough. First of all, congratulations. Second of all,
Thanks,
you
bro.
you in the luck frequency. So yo, stay in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, bro, I think that's tough. And like, what other cool things you discovered in Web3, bro? Because I feel like you put me on so many things just in this one conversation alone, man. So
So the coolest thing is providing services is something a lot of people are not tapping into Web3 as you can. So like with us with music, a lot of people want good music for their spaces. They don't like turn it on and Father Elon got that boop 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 boop. So you find somebody and they like your music, and you could be like, "Hey, I can come do some music for your space, and I'll do it by like a rate for a set rate or per hour, and you just send me that crypto. Or hey, if you want a theme song, I'll make a custom theme song for your project or for your community for a certain amount of crypto and have it sent to your wallet and get paid like that." And even outside the music space, if you understand the financial markets, you can do consulting for people. Crypto Stoner actually does that. He does a lot of consulting, and he's an ambassador for a lot of communities like Quack Life and Solana Deads. So there's a lot of stuff here you can do in Web3. You just have to look at issues people are having and the pain points and figure out how you can solve that problem for them.
man, beautiful, beautifully said, bro. So let me ask you a couple more questions because we are past the 30-minute limit. I told Zol, I would only be 30 minutes, but yo, let me ask you this: where do you think is the best place to mint music NFTs or mint music these days?
For music, I would say right now it's Solana. It's low cost, it's fast with not a lot of gas fees, and it's easy to use for newcomers coming on. Cause
Right.
like ETH is really expensive with gas fees. So you have to know the right time of the day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will argue that you can go to base, which is cheaper, which is true. But if you make the mistake of buying ETH and not base, then you got to
Basically,
transfer it from ETH
nice.
to base, and you're going to get eat up by a lot of gas fees. So
Yeah.
much that you may have to just buy more ETH to cover the gas fee to
Oh.
transfer over the amount over. Then there's certain times you got to catch it because of the fluctuation, so you're not getting eat up so much. So for someone that's new to the community, you don't want them to have to deal with all that hassle. And then at the same time, gas prices be so high, you're gonna pay more in gas fees than it is for the album.
Nah, dead ass, bro. That's facts. That's why I think minting NFTs with credit card needs to come back. You know what I'm saying? Like allow people to just do that super easy. But
And
yeah, it's
speaking of solving problems, our boy Prism is solving
he
problems.
is
To
solving
be able to
problems.
play Web3 music and not have to hold your wallet open all the damn time,
Dead
like we
ass.
needed that.
Dead ass, bro. Actually, it's a lot of folks building cool stuff, bro. Like we definitely on the frontiers of something huge, bro. We just all got to keep working and doing our particular things. And
Yeah, shout out to Song Jam too with Adam.
bro, you know the deal, bro. You shouting out the homies, really, bro. Yeah.
Yo, I be everywhere, bro.
I see that, bro. I see that, man. But yeah, I agree, bro. I co-sign pretty much everyone you said, bro. Like damn near a lot of sauce being built, bro. And just like I said, bro, like as long as we all stay on our thing, bro, and keep doing whatever our thing is to the maximum of our ability, bro, we all gonna go up, bro. It's really that easy. So
Exactly. And the thing is, we can all work together and all make money. Like the
exactly,
PvP thing is unnecessary. A lot of businesses work together and it's only marketed as hype that they're
facts,
beefing. A lot of them don't feel
facts.
that way. In fact, politicians don't even have real beef. They go to bars and drink and fuck each other and all that shit.
Yeah,
But when you
facts.
see it on TV, that ain't the narrative because if everybody was working together like that and we were working together, legislations would be different.
Totally agree, bro. And
But I
that's
ain't gonna go too much into
yeah, I was
that.
about to say that's a whole nother conversation, bro. A whole nother conversation. But yo, any last words to the people, man? Anything you want to say before we get out of here? And then folks will see you on your battles on Thursday. No,
Yep, Thursday,
no,
October
yeah,
9th.
Thursday it is. Yes, Thursday, bro. So yeah, bro. Any last words you want to say before your battle?
I do. I just want to say thank you for having me on.
Of
I
course.
appreciate all y'all for coming on and listening to us. Make sure you check out everything WaveWarz is doing. Some fire stuff's coming down the pipeline. Not sure how much I can talk about that,
Yeah,
but just
yeah.
stay tuned.
God bless.
Also, if you're not interested in following me, at least follow Inkspire Music so
Yeah.
you can hear what the whole squad is doing. And if you are a card collector, come to Whatnot tonight at 8. I will be doing my first live auction of some VFriend cards.
LFG, bro. Look at my G Tech, man, cooking in all type of ways, bro. Hype to see you, man. Thank you for joining us here at WaveWarz, man. We love to have you, man. We're looking forward to the battles, and we're looking forward to everything that you do as a creator entrepreneur as well, man. So yeah, thank you, bro.
For sure, bro. Thanks for having me on. God bless everybody. And keep working towards your goals and dreams.
All day, every day. Let's get it.